Hi, so you're admiring my vinyl collection, my Pink Floyd that I was just listening to, and I'll give you a tour of the whole thing. I have them alphabetically in order of artist and with each artist in order of release. I have all my usual suspects, like all the AC/DCs right here. Aerosmith, Amon Amarth, a lot of heavy stuff, some Viking metal, some Jeff Beck, Beatles. Everybody's got Beatles. No record collection is complete without it. The Black Sabbath. You got some Swedish doom metal, Candlemass. Some really good stuff of theirs. Johnny Cash. The famous Folsom Prison.
Get all the usual stuff out of the way.
Yeah, you got
and then that way we can just show people what you really, really have.
Then we've got some duplicates here. More basics, just Eric Clapton, Charlie Daniels, Deep Purple, Dio, Eagles, Foreigner, stuff like that every collection has. Iron Maiden, whole bunch of Iron Maiden, some Billy Joel and Elton John, Judas Priest, Kiss, Led Zeppelin. Can't have a record collection without a healthy dose of Led Zeppelin. Huey Lewis, guilty pleasure there.
You got Eat 'em and Smile?
I do have Eat 'em and Smile. Some David Lee Roth right there.
Got everything.
Some Man of War that we were talking about earlier.
Right.
Ultra cheese metal there. Yngwie Malmsteen. A bunch of Bob Marley.
That's cool. Yeah, that's a little bit of Bob Marley. What do you got there?
I've got pretty much all of his individual albums, and then I have, this was actually a Walmart exclusive that is the 30th anniversary of the Legend, the Greatest Hits. And the cool thing about it is that vinyl is kind of looks like the Jamaican flag.
That's pretty cool, dude. That's wicked.
And some say the colored vinyl doesn't sound as good. I don't know what they're talking about, but all sounds good to me as long as it's a good pressing and a good mastering job.
Right, as long as it's pressed off the same master. It might have been an old press, but
yeah. And then some old John Cougar, some Steve Miller Band, Motorhead. Got to have some Motorhead in the collection.
Now that's where it
too.
starts.
Then on down to...
This is crazy.
Ted Nugent, some Ozzy, Overkill.
All right, well, since we're in the O's, get into some obituary. Show me some obituary. Do you have obituary?
I do have some obituary.
That is crazy, dude. He's got everything.
I've got the first album,
Slowly We Rot. Holy shit.
And this one is pressed on slime green vinyl.
That is so cool.
That's kind of marbled looking. Probably
Fucking
can't see too
Road
well in
Runner,
the
baby.
picture.
That's
but
fucking awesome. That is king, dude.
But it's marbled, and then I also have The End Complete.
That is wicked.
And
that's the last one they made.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Then some other kind of cheesy 80s metal obsession there. This singer ended up going on to sing for Yngwie at one point.
That's awesome.
Then we've got Tom Petty. I've got all the standards from Tom Petty here. And,
I bet I could probably go through this collection and just pick out an alphabet letter and just listen to that whole alphabet letter whole week.
That is a problem with a big collection like this, is like, I want to listen to everything at once. And it's like, I even have like the later Tom Petty. This was the last one he did.
That's crazy.
And then, of course, Pink Floyd. Any vinyl collector is going to have several Pink Floyd on hand. Pink Floyd, I got an old copy of the Division Bell.
That's cool.
That they made. The first 500 copies they made on a transparent blue vinyl. This was actually the first one I ever had that had the transparent vinyl. I thought it was the coolest thing.
That's not too far from it, man. That's pretty cool.
And then from there, got some European. This is like a Judas Priest clone. And they did this one. Looks like it's pressed on marble.
That's pretty cool.
And I've got a couple other more that I'll get to that have the kind of an orange look with that same pattern. But yeah, these guys, you like Judas Priest, Primal Fear is where it's at. And then, of course, got to have early Queensryche. Got some mind crime going on. The Warning, which is probably one of the best metal albums ever recorded.
I would, yeah.
Got some German pirate metal here. Running Wild. If you like Accept, that kind of grindy, screamy, fucking want to go take over a fucking Port Royal. That's the music for you right there. That's your soundtrack, son.
It's funny.
And I've got my absolute favorite band in the world here is Sabotage.
Yeah,
We got kind of some later stuff there.
Yeah, that's some hometown
And
shit,
then,
though.
yeah, from right here in Tampa, Florida, Gutter Ballet, Hall of the Mountain King, one of my favorite albums I've ever heard in my life. Life-changing stuff right here. And the first two, these are very rare. The very first two they ever did, Dungeons Are Calling and Sirens. These, not going to tell you how much those cost, but I'm still kind of mad at myself over it. And then anybody that likes heavy music loves Slayer. I've got almost everything up through Divine Intervention. Later stuff I have on my iTunes, but these just on the vinyl, they sound delicious. Hell Awaits kind of jacked up, but it's still that's an original press. And Show No Mercy. Then down to, I've got some Social D, little bit of blues punk there. Everybody knows this one with Ball and Chain and Story of My Life.
It's pretty cool, man.
Ring of Fire. Then, of course, for production values, hearing how great stuff can sound in a recording studio, Steely Dan. Every vinyl collector has this one, because this one just sounds absolutely amazing on vinyl. It just loses, all their stuff kind of loses something on other mediums. Then let's see, what else I got here?
Wicked, man.
I've got just about all of them but one on vinyl. That actually, Dave Lombardo from Slayer played drums on that one. That one that was Demonic was pretty much a full death metal album from him. Low. The Ritual, that was kind of the late 80s Cheese stage. But Souls of Black, this was their kind of Metallica clone years.
Guess that was their comeback to the big four, I guess.
Yeah. And then I've got some of their later ones here, including the new one that they just did this last year. This one's utterly amazing.
It's pretty amazing you have all this, going on. Let me ask you a question. Do you have Sanctuary?
Sanctuary, yes, I do.
Are you kidding me?
Sanctuary is right here, Refuge Denied.
You absolutely do. That's crazy.
That is a badass album produced by Dave Mustaine from Megadeth. Stevie Ray Vaughan. You cannot have a vinyl collection without a healthy dose of Stevie Ray. One of my favorite blues players ever.
Do you have any SOD?
Don't have SOD on vinyl.
You got any MOD?
MOD, I have one. MOD. That was.
Are you kidding me?
I did have it. But sometimes you have a case where you take it over to a buddy's house and drink too much, and then you don't have that album anymore.
All right.
Which appears to be the case with the MOD.
It's all good. I'm sure you have
Michael
it, dude.
Shankner. Everybody who likes Scorpions type stuff knows Michael Shankner.
All right.
Hot chicks on the cover. Yeah, ZZ, everything ending at ZZ Top.
Whitesnake?
Whitesnake, yes sir. I got a bunch of Whitesnake.
Oh yeah, you should actually, before you show me Whitesnake, can we go to the F's?
F's, yes.
What was it? Fastway?
Fastway. Fastway is the bomb. If you don't know Fastway, you need to know them immediately.
One of the bands that got me started in metal, but yeah, that's a pretty cool band.
This is an absolute masterpiece.
I'm amazed that he has it on vinyl.
And they also did, a little later in their career, they did the soundtrack for this movie, Trick or Treat. Kind of a cheesy Halloween movie with cameos from Ozzy and Gene Simmons, but they did all the music in it. And it's a couple of the songs that were on that first album, but some new stuff too. Like this After Midnight's amazing. Trick or Treat, Get Tough. Every song on this is fucking amazing.
Do you have any Halloween?
Halloween, yes. Halloween, at least the ones that matter. Halloween. This is their true masterpiece right here was the Keeper of the Seven Keys duo. That's Hellstar. Keeper of the Seven Keys, parts 1 and 2. And then slightly before that, they did Walls of Jericho. There's a song called Gorgor on this one that I've never been able to get enough of.
Awesome.
Got some Iron Maiden. I'm pretty huge into Iron Maiden, going all the way back even to their first album with the old Paul Di'Anno years right there.
Yeah. Wow.
And these are original presses. You can't get, and if you find these anymore, you're getting re-releases. That the last re-release I heard sounded pretty good.
I had that one on album when I was a kid.
Yeah, this one is probably the one that started me on metal. This one, and then this one, of course, changed my life. Peace of Mind is probably still my favorite Maiden album, but I've got all the way up to Seventh Son.
Hell, I had a Kiss lunchbox when I was in kindergarten, dude, but...
Yeah, I wasn't allowed to have the Kiss one. My dad really didn't play the whole metal thing. He wasn't happy with my choice in music. And then, yeah, we were talking earlier about ZZ Top.
Right.
I've got Afterburner, the Eliminator. That's the one with legs and Sharp Dressed Man that everyone. I got 2 copies of it. DeGuello kind of preceded that one. That's got the Thank You and I'm Bad, I'm Nationwide.
Yeah, that's like their first one that was actually
kind of
ZZ Top-ish.
Yeah, the
before they
kind of
went
has
from
the sound, because the stuff before that, El Loco and Fandango,
more bluesy stuff.
Yeah, much more bluesy. Tejas is the stuff with Waiting on the Bus, and like you won't find many of the radio hits on these older ones, but they're still pretty good ones. Tres Hombres gives you
there's a lot of B-side music that's really cool.
Spread of some unhealthy Mexican food there. Kind of what they were about in the early days. And then Rio Grande Mud was, I believe this was their second one. But no one even knew who they were when they did this stuff. And definitely not stuff you hear on the radio when they play ZZ Top.
All right. Well, you kind of pretty much went all the way through it. What's some of your favorite things that you have, dude? Other than, just your prize things, what's your favorite stuff to listen to, man?
Favorite stuff to listen to, of course, Tom Petty and Pink Floyd. But I like...
When it comes to be heavy stuff, what do you like to listen to? Like...
I go back and forth between kind of cheesy 80s metal stuff like Lizzie Borden.
That's cool.
And Manowar. There's a band called Malice that this album right here fucking smokes. It's called License to Kill. And it's real cheesy 80s, mid-80s metal, but it's just fucking awesome. And then also some of the more obscure kind of Bay Area thrash. Forbidden. This drummer actually is the guy that took over for Lombardo and Slayer. And this album is just life-changing. This is one of my favorite albums to listen to when I want to hear something heavy but melodic with a lot of guitar in it. And then if I just want raw gutter Bay Area's thrash, it all started with this one.
All right. You got any Suicidal?
Do not have any Suicidal on the vinyl.
No? Wow, I gotcha.
Yeah. There's a few of them that are still on the list, and then some of them that just the artwork on some of these is just like Iced Earth is another local Tampa metal band.
Crazy the stuff
this
you have.
This artwork was actually drawn by Todd McFarlane that does the Spawn comics. And this album's a masterpiece. And then this one, Days of Purgatory, they used to be known as Purgatory before they were Iced Earth. And this is a 3-record re-recording of all their early stuff. And this one is always a good listen. It's a long 3-record, but everything on it is fucking killer. And then I also like some of the Swedish death stuff. Like At the Gates. They sound a lot like Carcass and kind of that more melodic death metal sound. Vocals take some getting used to, but and then Arch, this is a good Swedish kind of Queensryche clone that these guys are, again, kind of dated. This came out in '89. That was a great year for music. But that album's just, if you like old Queensryche, And then, of course, everybody knows Armored Saint. Singer John Bush ended up going on to sing for Anthrax. And there, yeah, of course, Black Sabbath.
Everything's in alphabetical order, too.
Alphabetical order and order of release.
So how many albums would you say you have sitting right here?
Right now I have just over 1,100. And per the last entry on Discogs, my collection was up around 14,000 value, median value. Granted, each individual record can vary based on conditions. I have some of them that I buy them to listen to, and if it's got some where a dog chewed on the corner there, as long as the record itself's in good shape.
And you listen to these all the time, too.
I listen as much as I can possibly square away time.
Yeah. We see. But that is so cool, man.
Yep. Pretty much every time I have some time to just chill, it's whenever I get, like if I'm playing my guitars and recording music and I get frustrated, I'll back away from what's frustrating me and I'll dig in and start listening to Steve Vai. I do have his very first album, Flexible.
Everything.
And this one, if you want some weird guitar effects that just, you have no idea. I mean, and then there's stuff in here that has bells and vibes and horns and all kinds of crazy shit. But this one's definitely an interesting listen. Not everyone's cup of blood, but I love it because I'm weird.
You got fucking everything.
Yeah, some old like stadium rock.
Flotsam and Jetsam?
Triumph. Flotsam and Jetsam I do not have on vinyl, although
Exodus?
I would love to have their first one. Exodus, yeah, I got a couple of Exodus. I got the first one I showed you a minute ago, and I've got Fabulous Disaster and Pleasures of the Flesh.
Wow.
The later ones I have on my iTunes, but I don't have them on the wax. I got the Fabulous Thunderbirds. Everyone's heard that Tough Enough song. That's actually Stevie Ray Vaughan's brother that plays guitar for them.
I'm trying to think of something.
Jams,
You got
Funkadelic, a lot of the 90s hip hop that you listen to is the music parts were sampled from Funkadelic most of the time. And then some stuff that like with a cover like that, how can that not be a kick-ass metal album?
That's cool.
Fucking Grim Reaper. That's more cheesy 80s metal shit that I just fucking love.
It's like Metal Church.
Metal Church shit, yeah. Another one of my favorites. Human Factor. Fucking Blessing in Disguise with
got the Dark?
Badlands. The Dark with Watch the Children Play. And their first one that's just a thrash classic.
That is so cool. I can almost not stump you, man. I mean, you got a lot of stuff.
And I got the guy, the Mike Howe, the singer for Metal Church.
Overkill?
Was on this album before he joined Metal Church, his band Heretic.
Yep.
And yeah, Mike Howe from Metal Church did the vocals on this one, and this one's badass.
Flip it over again.
Yeah, album's called Breaking Point from a band called Heretic.
That's pretty cool.
And then Overkill.
Cool.
I do have a few of theirs.
You got the regular Max and Igor stuff too, I'm sure.
Yeah, I got the White Devil Armory was one of their later ones. Horror Scope. That was just re-released last year, then Taking Over. And the first one, this is my favorite, the Feel the Fire. That was their first one. And this one's an original press. Someone put a hole punch in the fucking cover. Morons. But the vinyl's in great shape, and it still to this day sounds great. And I've probably played this album 100 times.
Awesome. That's so cool. Yeah, I mean that's a lot of albums, bro.
Yeah.
I'm
It would
impressed.
take me a year to go through each one, and
I'm sure, you know, and that's just like a couple minutes at it. You know what I mean? I'm sure I could sit here with you all day and go through your albums.
Oh yeah, and just pull out stuff like Dire Straits.
You know, but I just wanted to get the point across. You know, just so so you could share it. But this is some cool stuff that other people need to see.
Yeah.
And you know, this is a crazy album collection. Yeah.
The first.
I don't know what else to say. I mean. So
that's my shit.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
My pride and joy and life passion of collecting I think I've been collecting these since I was about 13.
Yeah, that's
going
cool.
On a lot too many years.
That's cool.
About 35 years of collecting. What kind of fucking metalhead has Adele? Really, seriously, Todd? But her voice, especially through that tube preamp, oh my god. It sounds like butter. Ah. And it works pretty good at blocking sound from going out into the rest of the apartment.